High noon in the Pacific time zone in North America. Welcome back to the Shack in Oregon. This is Ham Radio Live. Oh my goodness, we have made it finally to show number 299. 299?
How exciting.
I get you. I feel it, yeah. We're going to do a final look at time stations around the world. Plus, we're going to talk about the expedition calendar, your special event calendar, and your contest calendar for the weekend. Make some special calls for you. Looking forward to this, plus a special guest tomorrow. Don't miss it. Eric from Ham Radio Concepts live with us taking your questions at 20 UTC, same time as this. So we're looking forward to seeing you. From the four winds of the world, wherever you may be, away we go. Hi, everybody. My goodness, 299. Who would have thunk it? Not me, that's for sure. Welcome back. This is a ham radio talk show about radio, shortwave, ham, broadcasting a ball here. Have a ball. We've got a neat sign off at the end of this too. One we've never done. It's from Madagascar, and there'll be a great Easter egg at the end. If you love funny commercials, it'll be at the very, very end of the show after the sign off. Before we tell you about ham radio clubs you can contact so you can, get into ham radio, want to do some welcomes around the world. Andy Bronson, first one in from the UK. His call sign, Mike 7, X-Ray Tango, Tango first one in. Gets applause and the beep beep from the Roadrunner. Well done, Andy. Good to see you, mate. Good evening. My mate Adam's here, November Yankee 5 Echo. Good afternoon to you. Good to see you, my friend. Happy Friday. We made it to Friday. Ron is here. For whatever reason, I was stuck calling him Rod yesterday. Sorry, Ron. Well, there you go. It's just, we'll call it old age or something, but I'm grateful you're here. His call sign is Victor Alpha 3, Foxtrot Union Charlie. Ron, welcome. And I got you right. Jeff is here from Canada. Victor Echo 3, Whiskey Juliet. A big hello to Jeff in Canada. Kevin's here. Mike 0, Mike Charlie Lima in UK. Good to see you, Kev. Good evening to you there in the UK. My brother Bob, courtesy WIFI. Bob is at cancer treatment right now, watching on Wi-Fi there. So, Bob, I hope everything's going well. Give me a text if things go wrong. Okay, I'll stop the show. I promise, okay? And we said, Ron says I'm going to have to miss show 300, but I'll catch it on replay. I have to help with a Joda stud. Hey, good for you, man. That means he's working with a scout. Good job, Ron. Good job. Helping a scout get on the air. That's great stuff. I'm proud of you, man. Andy, did you get my email? I sent you on QRZ. No, I haven't. I'll take a look for it after the show. I promise, my friend. All right. The whole purpose of what we're doing here is to help you get into amateur radio and not hit the pop filter too hard. Well, you'd think I'd figure that out by now. Anyway, get a hold of one of these 5 clubs. They'll help you get into amateur radio, but you have to take the first step. If you don't know how to get your license, hit the contact us bar at any one of these 5 internet sites and then tell them where you're located. They're going to send you a ham radio club that's close by. You contact that club and then they'll show you what ham radio is all about. And they could even help you study for your license, and some can even help you get your test and get your license. First one, the American Radio Relay League at www.arl.org. Second one in the UK is the Radio Society of Great Britain at www.rsgb.org. Great mates over there, and I love those guys. They're very, very good at what they do. Also a good group is Radio Amateurs of Canada. Very well done. Very well done group. Radio Amateurs of Canada can be found at www.rac.ca. In Japan, the Japan Amateur Radio League at www.jarl.org. In Australia, the Wireless Institute of Australia at www.wia.org. If you'd like to email the show, have a show suggestion, a question, maybe you have a question about ham radio, please feel free and hit me up at cqhamradiolive@gmail.com. If you'd like to help support the channel, do so 2 ways, either on Patreon at Ham Radio Live, or you can do it on Proburbs356 on PayPal. Again, PayPal, Proburbs356@me.com. Want to welcome you to today's show. We're grateful to have you. Great guest tomorrow, 20 UTC from Ham Radio Concepts. This is Eric Hoffer. His call sign is Kilo Juliet 4, Yankee Zulu India. He has 6 figures in subscriber count. He's tested just about every ham radio product there is under the sun. And he's going to be taking your questions tomorrow, and we're going to be celebrating Eric and his success at Ham Radio Concepts. I am so honored to have that opportunity. Here's a great clip of Eric and what it's like to watch his YouTube channel if you've never seen it.
Everyone, welcome back. Good to see you. This is Eric, KJ4YZI. You're watching Ham Radio Concepts. There's several funny things mashed in together right now at the time of this video. Today is October 4th, 10/4. My birthday. I was born on 10/4. Didn't realize that I'd be born on 10-4. That's pretty fun, especially since I'm a big CB advocate. Everybody knows that I've played with CB since I was 9 years old, and I continue to love CB, and CB is more active than it's ever been. So what's fitting on 10-4 is to make a video on a birthday present I bought myself. Yes, I bought this from Gigaparts. Yes, they don't just hand me stuff. I buy stuff. The Uniden 885 hybrid CB radio digital scanner, which has GPS.
See, there you go. I mean, he does everything. CB radio, ham radio, shortwave radio. Eric has tested it, and he's coming for you tomorrow. Take your questions about various products, as well as we'll talk about his channel, Ham Radio Concepts. So grateful, Eric, for coming. Thank you so much. We'll look forward to that tomorrow. Again, join us. That's 8 p.m. in London, okay? If you're in North America, that's noon Pacific, 3 p.m. in the Eastern time zone for Eric from Ham Radio Concepts. It's going to be a ball. 20 UTC. Also, working on Ray Novak from ICOM North America. Hopefully coming in before Christmas to talk about ICOM products plus the expeditions don't break the bank. And don't forget, this Wednesday, Callum McCormick from DX Commander, his call sign Mike Zero, Mike Charlie X-Ray, will be coming live to talk about his products at DX Commander, as well as answer your antenna questions. This is going to be such a great opportunity for us, and we're grateful to have it. Join us, please, 20 UTC for Callum McCormick, Mike Zero, Mike Charlie X-Ray from DX Commander. Also on October 30th, Randy Hall, Kilo 7 Alpha Golf Echo, will come to answer your questions about ham radio, shortwave, antennas, antenna tuners, amplifiers, everything. Please join us at 20 UTC. That's at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. in the Eastern time zone here in North America. Fred Denon going to talk about superstations that you can work from your computer at home. Yep, towers, amplifiers, direction, everything. You have it all, really. Something that costs you, between maybe $25,000 to $100,000 to build. No kidding. He'll talk about that. That's Thanksgiving weekend here in North America. Okay, so join us, please, November 27th, 20 UTC for Fred Denon from beloud.us. Also coming up on the 23rd of October, my best buddy here in ham radio, Martin F. Jew from MFJ, celebrating his 49th year at MFJ. He'll be taking your questions a week from tomorrow. And that's going to be a great opportunity for you to not only meet Mr. Jew, but also talk to him about radios. And he's a brilliant guy when it comes to, radio questions as well as classic and collectible radios. He's done it. He owns most of them, and they're in just brand new condition. So please join us, 20 UTC, next Saturday for Martin F. Jew. Also, my main man, Alex, Whiskey 7 Hotel Uniform, does a great YouTube channel here where he makes tons of QSOs. He'll be coming on November 6th at 20 UTC. Please join us. Again, 3 p.m. in the Eastern time zone, noon Pacific. That's 8 p.m. in London, 20 UTC. Welcome back to the show. Let's see you guys and say quick hellos. First of all, Mike in Florida, Kilo Delta 2, Sierra Delta, Jacksonville is here. Thank you, Mike. Happy Friday to you. It's good to see you. Kel in Norway, Lima Bravo 0, Yankee India. It's always an honor to have you here, Kel. Thank you for coming today. It's wow. He told me the story once. We did a sign off, and it's more of just the anthem from Norway. He told the story about how it was only played on New Year's Eve. And Kel, without your help, I wouldn't have known that. So thank you for sharing that. Lewis is here from Heber City, Utah, Kilo 7 Alpha Golf. Lewis, welcome. Happy Friday to you there. Martin in the Netherlands is here. Pop Echo 9, Tango India Golf. Always a pleasure to have you here from Holland. Rod is here from Pennsylvania. Whiskey 3, miles per gallon. Thank you for coming. Also, Will Myers, Kilo Alpha 8, Golf India Mike from Wisconsin. Happy Friday to you too as well, Will. Mike in Jacksonville said, just made contact with the Expedition J5T on 15 meters. Congratulations. Yep. I know you've been working on that one. Congratulations on that, Mike. That's a great call. Good for you. Good for you. Don't forget, this weekend, Scouts are on the air. It's the Jamboree on the Air weekend. It takes place through the 17th. Scouts and hams around the world, around the nation, and in your own community meet on the air via amateur radio. They're going to be on sideband and FM voice, but they could also be doing other modes too, such as voice or digital. So please look for a scout on the ham bands this weekend. You could be the difference in them getting their license down the road. Plus, ARDC grant to benefit high school computer science students, donating some Raspberry Pis. And they're teaching students to combine those devices with sensors, motors, other electronics, and computer code. Students have the opportunity to learn complex technical concepts firsthand. So that's pretty cool. Thanks to the ARDC for that fantastic grant. We're going to get you a first trivia question early. There's so much in the show, from the special event and contest and the expedition calendar to the final to the final piece on time stations. You're going to like this. We're going to end the trifecta of time stations today talking about more than just WWV and WWVH. We're going to also talk about CHU and RMT and EMP and all these other stations around the world that do time. We'll talk about that today. First trivia question. There's a man who was very famous in the 40s, 50s, and 60s here in North America. His name was Arthur Godfrey. He was on CBS. He was first on radio. Then he came onto television, was a game show host. He also, hosted his own talk show. He was also a ham. Did you know that? Well, here's the question. Arthur Godfrey's ham radio sign was, and only one answer please per person first time around. A, Kilo 7 Union Golf Alpha. B, I learned the alphabet today. Wow, exciting for me. I'm going to work on counting tomorrow. B, Whiskey 3 Union Sierra Sierra. C, Kilo 4 Lima India Bravo. Or D, Whiskey 6 Alpha Mike. Hit me up with A, B, C, or D. We'll find out which continent gets it right. Currently, the Europeans are in the lead. 65-60. Great game in October. A1A. It's looking pretty dark, but wow, it's the way it goes. It's a solar cycle. Things go up, things go down. Look at the far side of the sun. See how bright it is? A lot of bright spots there. So those will be revolving around. Solar flares and coronal holes. Here's what it looks like right now. Your Candex is brilliant. K2 is quiet. You're going to have good conditions this weekend to make calls. Look at the last 3 days have come down from the K-storm we had earlier in the week, and now it's just nice and quiet. MUFs last night, just want to show this to you so you can get an idea of what it looks like the other part of the clock. So 12 hours ago, Darwin was at 33.63, definitely supporting 10 meters. Hermana, South Africa, only at 16.92. But take a look there at Darwin. Wow, really good. Middle of the night, Jicamarca, Peru, 23.08. Again, for people in the tropics, it just shows that when you're there, right, when you're in that area, you're close to it, you're going to get great, maximum usable frequencies during the solstices. Current MUFs, Alaska 14.96, Boulders at 22.72, Ascension Island 39.15 going in the dark, Jicamarca, Peru at 25.76, Athens, Greece at 10.3, Hermana, South Africa 15.02, Darwin, Australia 12.32 megahertz. Mike's MUF map, this is a good one. This is from Kilo Delta 2, Sierra X-ray Delta right here. Take a look. This is why he makes these contacts. He really watches the MUFs. Southern United States, 23, 21 megahertz. You should make some great calls east and west. If you're in the northern part of the U.S. or Canada, 22 megahertz, 20 megs. You get about 15 meters right now. Folks that are in Europe, take a close look there. Europe, of course, it's going in the dark. 15 megahertz. You've also got 12. And people around the southern part of Europe are, kind of between 11 and 13 megahertz. But it gives you an idea of where you can work. Current conditions right now, powered by ICOM. ICOM for the love of ham and shortwave radio. SFI of 90, solar number of 24. Your A index is up to 7. K is 0. Brilliant. That's a great K number because it means our noise floors are quiet. We don't have so much static. Your HF conditions look brilliant all the way from 80 to 20 meters. Fair on 17 and 15. Moon bouncers have an excellent chance to work the moon today. 6-meter E-skip is also open. So great conditions out there. The forecast today for ham and shortwave radio, powered by ICOM for the love of ham and shortwave radio. Daytime today on your voice ham bands, 20, 17, 15, some 12 and 10 openings in the northern hemisphere. Equatorial latitude should get 20, 17, 15, 12, and possible 10. Southern hemisphere, I think you get it all. 20, 17, 15, and 10. I think it'll all work out for you. It's just great MUFs down south. Data 30 to 10 all latitudes. Your nighttime ham bands tonight, 160, 80, 75, 60, 40, 30. Best GX tonight on 40 meters, but don't give up on 20. It'll be there at gray line. Shortwave bands today, 31, 25, 22, and 19 meters. Tonight on shortwave, 120, 90, 75, 60, 49, 41, 31, 25. 22, and 100% chance of 19. 100% chance 19 is going to be open till about an hour after sunset. With a great SFI like this, we should be just fine. Let's take a look back at that trivia question. You guys have all been piling in. Now this is the late Arthur Godfrey. He was a really very famous, both radio and television talent here in the U.S. back in the 50s and 60s. He was also a ham. What was his call sign? Let's take a look back at your comments here. and see if we can catch up and find out if anyone gets it right. First one, Mike, Kilo Delta 2 Sierra X-Ray Delta. He says B, Whiskey 3 Union Sierra Sierra. It was not B. Rod from Pennsylvania, Whiskey 3 miles per gallon, said A, K7 UGA. That is not correct. Ron from Canada, Victor Alpha 3 Foxtrot Union Charlie, says it's C, Kilo 4 Lima India Bravo. Ron, you got it. Congratulations. That's correct. Yeah, he was Kilo 4 Lima India Bravo. He was actually a very big advocate for ham radio back in the 50s and 60s. He got caught up in the ham craze. Remember, in the 50s, you had a lot of people coming back from World War II. They were used to radios, and they loved it. So they got their ham licenses. Arthur Godfrey stayed home during the war, but he did great work in broadcasting, and he also fell in love with ham radio. So congratulations to Ron, Victor Alpha 3 Foxtrot Union Charlie in Canada, for getting it right. 65-65 right now. Also answering correctly, Andy Bronson just missed it from the UK. Mike 7 X-Ray Tango Tango. Will Myers answered D. It was his call sign Kilo Alpha 8 Golf India Mike. Lewis in Heber City, Utah, Kilo 7 Alpha Alpha Golf, said D. And welcome our third continent. That's VK Radio Ham, way down in South Australia. Wow. That's really cool. Thanks for coming. A very happy Saturday morning to you there. And Ron says it was a wild guess. You got it right. That's good. Congratulations. Here's your second trivia question. Again, we're 5 points for North America, 10 outside. Assuming a non-emergency scenario, when may a non-licensed person communicate using an amateur radio station's equipment? Was it A, only if the operator was previously licensed? B, when the person is on active military duty and stationed in a designated combat zone? C, when there is a licensed operator controlling the station? Or D, anytime an emergency situation exists? Now, be careful. Look at the question. Assuming a non-emergency scenario, kind of like the tests, right? You got to take a look at the question very carefully. First one in, Will Myers, Kilo Alpha 8 Golf India Mike, says C, when there's a licensed operator controlling the station. And you know what? You got it. That is correct. Well done again. Wow. So North America takes the lead 70-65. Again, keep in mind, look at the question. Assuming a non-emergency scenario. If it was an emergency scenario, D works. Yep. If it's an emergency, any person can use a ham radio to get the word out. If it's an emergency. If it's a non-emergency, as long as a licensed operator is nearby, you can, meaning there, right? That means you can use the station. So congratulations to you, my friend. Welcome on again. Wow, North America swept it today. That's pretty good. Let's take a look at your contests and information news from across the pond. This is from the people in Great Britain, and we appreciate the RSGB for this. This weekend, the Workdoll Germany contest ends its 24-hour run at 1500 UTC on the 17th, using SSB and CW on the contest bands between 3.5 and 28 megahertz, so between 80 and 10 meters. The exchange is signal report and serial number. German stations will also send Delta Oscar Kilo. Also on the 17th, there are 4 contests taking place. First is a 50 megahertz AFS contest between 900 and 1300 UTC. They use all modes, and the exchange is signal report, serial number, and locator. Stations of the UK and Commonwealth dependencies also exchange the first 2 letters of their postal code. Also, the second contest, the UK Microwave Group 24 to 76 gig contest, runs from 900 UTC to 1700 UTC using all modes. The exchange is signal report, serial number, and locator. The IRTS 40-meter daytime counties contest runs from 1200 to 1300 UTC and is the third contest on the 17th. It uses CW and SSB, and exchanges signal report and serial number. EI and GI stations will also send their county code. Finally, on the 17th, the second rolling locator, or ROLO, contest runs between 1900 and 2030 UTC. It's only for CW operators on the 80-meter band. The exchange is signal report and the rolling locator. Also, don't forget, on Monday, this is the FT4 series contest. It runs from 1900 UTC to 2030 UTC on the 80-meter band. Exchanges report and 4-character locator. Okay. Also, the 1.3 gig UK activity contest takes place between 1900 and 2130 UTC on Tuesday. They will be using all modes. The exchange is signal report, serial number, and locator. Also, Thursday, the 70 megahertz UK activity contest. This is Thursday, the 21st of October. It runs between 1900 and 2130 UTC. They'll be on all modes, exchanges signal report, serial number, and locator. Next weekend, the UK EI Contest Club DXSSB contest runs between 1200 UTC on Saturday the 23rd to 1200 UTC on Sunday the 24th, using the contest bands between 80 and 10 meters. The exchange is signal report, which is optional, serial number, and your district code. There you go. Here's your contest calendar for North America and the world. Take a look. You got a lot of contests here. 2 state QSO parties here. You see the Illinois QSO party going to be on late the 17th, early into the 18th. Also, New York has their QSO party as well. Let's take a quick look at some contests. The JARTS Worldwide RIDI Contest goes on 00 Zulu on the 16th to 24 Zulu on the 17th. Excuse me. They'll be working radio teletype on 80, 40, 20, 15, and 10 meters. High power is more than 100 watts. Low power is 100. Okay. Signal report RST, which is your signal report plus age of operator. There you go. New York QSO party comes up this weekend. CW, SSB, and digital modes will be on all bands except for the work bands. Take a look at the power. 100 watts, your high power. If you're 100 watts, say 101 or more. Low power, 100 watts or less. QRP is 5. Make sure and check the rules. See if QRP voice is 10 watts. Many contests are that way. We just talked about this. The Worked All Germany contest is going to be CW and SSB. Please observe contest-free band segments per the rules. Okay, so just make sure you're not in the work bands. So it's going to be on 80, 40, 20, 15, and 10. They're going to be running a high power, more than 100 watts, low power, 100 watts or less, QRP at 5. Check the rules for QRP information. RSGB CW Rolo contest comes up on October 17th from 1900 UTC to 2030 UTC. And of course, your max power there, 100 watts. Want to work Argentina? That could be a hard one to work for people outside of Argentina or South America. Listen this weekend. They're going to be on 40 meters only 40 meters, sideband only. Max power is 100 watts. So please do what you can. Try and work someone from Argentina. If you haven't got someone from that country, here's your chance this weekend. Also, the ARRL School Club Roundup is next week. It's from the 1300 Zulu time frame of October 18th to 2359 Zulu on October 22nd. CW, phone, RIDI, and digital modes, all bands except 30, 17, 30, 60, 30, 17, 12. Sorry about that. So everything but the work bands. So they'll be on 80, 75, 40, 40, 20, 15, 10, and you can work them, they'll be out there working. These are kids. It's a great time for you to be able to work a kid and impress ham radio. Maybe one of their buddies is there, right? And, there's nothing better. That's how I really got into ham radio. That's how I fell in love with it as a kid. I just couldn't do CW. I could not do it. So I found out at 14 about ham radio. I went to a buddy's house from high school, and he had his dad's house. It was right there with all these QSL cards pasted all over the walls. I was stunned. He talked to all those countries, and I was hooked. I kept trying, so I'm grateful I finally got my license. All right, let's quickly catch up with everybody that's come here to say hello. And then we're going to go ahead and continue, and we'll go into the expeditions that are up for this weekend and this week, okay? First of all, Tom is here from Bahrain. Alpha Echo 1, Tom Papa here in the United States. His Bahrain call sign, Alpha 92 Golf Whiskey. It is 11:26 p.m. Tom, thank you for coming. It's late. Thank you, Tom. I mean that. That's a lot to ask of anybody, and I appreciate you coming. Thank you. It means that you like the show, and I appreciate your kindness. Thank you. It's always nice to stay in touch with you, too. I wish I was quicker with it. Tom says, read the question. Yeah, that's for sure. All right, Tom says, I'm heading out now with the HWEF for a change. So he's changing his highwire end fed for a change after the show. Portable to my favorite location, 73. Oh, maybe I can catch one of you here. Tom works a lot of DX by the sea. So look for him. He loves to work 20, 17, 40. You'll catch him. Watch for him. He's really good at what he does. All right. Let's catch up. This is the DX expedition calendar. People from, around the world working remote places. All right. Let's first go to Tonga. Oh, would we like to with the weather? Oof. The contest call signs Alpha 35 Juliet Papa. They're going to be on 80 through 6 meters, running sideband, CW, FT8, 100 watts, QSL by Club Log of the World. Niger 5 Uniform Alpha India Hotel Mike. Going to be 40 to 20 CW spare time operation. Tanzania 5 Hotel 3 Mike Bravo. That's going to be neat. Sideband, CW, RIDI, FT8. They're running dipoles, ground plane antennas, so they're working hard. Try and catch them. 5 Hotel 3 Mike Bravo. Madagascar, we have a sign-off from them coming today. 5 Romeo 8 Hotel Kilo. It's being done on the HF band. No end date specified for this yet. Martus, which is a good one. 3 Bravo 8. That's a good one to get. They're going to be CW mainly 100 watts plus on SSB plus some digital modes. They're going to be operating through October 16th, so you have until the weekend here. San Tome and Principe. This is Sierra 9 Oscar Kilo. They're going to be running 160 to 6 CW SSB plus digital modes. Also, we're going to change, as you can see the bottom, Iswani 3 Delta Alpha 0 Romeo Uniform. It's going to be HF and FM, so both modes, 160 to 6 CW SSB FT8, and you can see the QSL information right there. French Guiana, call sign Fox Yankee. That's it, Fox Yankee. Going to be 160 to 6 SSB PSK FT8, Fox and Hound, perhaps some slow CW at 100 watts. Try and work that one. Guinea-Bissau, Juliet 5 Tango. This is going to be HF 160 to 10 SSB, and run it. CW, SSB, RDTY. So they're going to work a lot of modes. That's pretty cool. When you go to a location, you work a lot of modes. So it's going to be 4 modes. Morse code, sideband, radio teletype, FT8. They got 4 stations working there. Canary Islands, Echo Alpha 8. Take a look. That's going to be a good contest. Good de-expedition work. 40 to 10 meters, mainly CW, perhaps some SSB. They're looking at 5 to 40 watts. So this is going to be low power. See if you can work them. Luxembourg, call sign Lima X-Ray. Going to be 160 to 6 on HF, CW, SSB, RIDI, FT8. Suriname, Papa Zulu 5, Juliet Sierra. There's a lot of the expeditions going on right now. Going to be on HF, 80 to 10, SSB, 500 watt hex beam. You can work this one. Look for the call sign Papa Zulu 5, Zulu Sierra. Again, Papa Zulu 5, Zulu Sierra. They're using a directional. You should be able to work them. They're going through October 20th. That's coming Wednesday. Iswanti, 3 Delta, Alpha, 0, Whiskey. Going to be 160 to 10, CW, SSB, RIDI, FT8. Also, Svalbard, which is a great one. This goes on now through November 1st. Juliet Whiskey 6, Victoria Delta Alpha. Going to be HF, SSB, and that's it. Just HF, SSB. You can get a hold of them by ClubWog online QRS system. To wrap it up, Suriname, of course, we just talked about them. Delta Juliet 4 Echo Lima is doing that one. The call sign to look for is Papa Zulu 5 Golf. Okay, so that's Suriname. Iswanti 3 Delta Alpha 0 Romeo. Okay, it's being done by 3 Whiskey 3 Romeo, only on the HF bands. Mauritania, this is a great one. 5 Tango. It's being done on the HF bands 40 to 10, sideband, Morse code, and FT8. Look what's coming up. Saint Martin, Mozambique, Gambia. I'm going to say it wrong. I know I am. Saint Eustatius. Hey, I did it. Wow. Papa Juliet 5. That starts on October 24th. Of course, Gambia and the Bahamas coming as well. So there's some great special event stations and de-expeditions coming your way. All right? We're just going to go through a few special events because there's so many things to talk about in this show. Pacific Con is this weekend off the West Coast. Look for the call sign Whiskey 1 Alpha Whiskey Slant 6. So that's basically the ARL call sign from, W1AW, but it'll be Slant 6 because they're coming from Pacific Con. It's going to be on 3870 on 80 meters, 7270 on 40, 14270 on 20, 21370 on 15 meters. QSL via W1AW in Newington, Connecticut. Also, Shenandoah National Park Special Event Station, October 17th to the 23rd. Look for the call sign Whiskey 4 Delta Oscar. Pensacola Interstate Fair, October 21st to the 31st. Look for the call sign Whiskey 4 Frank. So Whiskey 4 Foxtrot. That's it. Also, don't forget Scouts on the Air, the Jamboree on the Air this weekend. There is a special event station for it. Whiskey 1 Mike's out of Russell, Massachusetts. They'll be on 40 meters at 7.060 doing CW, 7.250 using voice, 14.060 using CW, and on 20-meter voice at 14.250. So that's going to be a good one. Help a scout be on the air. Last one's a special event. Historic Beaumont Hotel special event station out of Kansas. Whiskey Oscar Tango. Whiskey Zero Tango, pardon me. Whiskey Zero Tango is going to be next Saturday from 1400 Zulu to 2100 Zulu. Work a special event this weekend. Have some fun. I'll also have the special event calendar in the description section below for you, okay? Ron from Canada, QSO cards, the wallpaper of ham shacks everywhere. No kidding. Hi, Nikolai from Romania. It's good to see you. A very, very happy Friday evening to you there in Romania. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is having a great day. Well, we're always having a good day when you're here, so thank you for coming. My friend John Hummel Newell, Victor Echo 5, Juliet Hotel November. Hello, Larry, and hello to you, John. How are you doing? I hope things are going well for you there in Saskatchewan. I really do. And thanks for being here. Oftentimes, John's the very first one to check in. So grateful you're here. All right, we're going to talk about time stations. We're going to end our trifecta of shows of time stations. 2 days ago, we talked about WWVH, a little bit about their history. Yesterday, we talked a little bit more. Today, we're going to talk about the whole bunch, okay? You can find this on the internet because there's multiple time stations that are throughout the world. Now, the big ones are WWV, WWVH. Those are really the big ones, okay? You're going to hear them pretty much most of the world. But there are other ones. Let's take a look. First of all, 2500 kilohertz or 2.5 megahertz. You have WWV and WWVH. You can see the power, 2.5 kilowatts and 5 kilowatts, okay? And there's the information right there. One is out of the island of Kauai. That would be WWVH, and that's the voice of Jane Barbie. WWV broadcasts out of Fort Collins, Colorado. They use a male voice. So that's the difference between the two. Let's take a look at this and a listen as well. This is CHU out of Canada.
CHU Canada EBC server transmitting 15 hours, 39 minutes.
There you go. So that's CHU Canada. And sometimes, every other minute, they will broadcast in French. And then at the other minute, they come on in English. You can find them at 3330 kilohertz. So 3.330 megahertz. They use 3 kilowatts out of Ottawa, Ontario. Okay. Let's take a look at another page here. 4996, Romeo Whiskey Mike. This is from the Institute of Meteorology for Time and Space out of Mondelevo, Moscow region. Okay. And they have multiple frequencies similar to WWV and WWVH, just a little bit off of those frequencies. Also, Spain has one, EBC, and that's at 4998. Imagine how difficult that could be to hear over the QRM sometimes of WWV and WWVH. That could be hard. That really can be. Let's take a listen to what that sounds like, because I was able to pick up a very weak signal from them. Let's take a listen to that. This is EBC Spain at 15,006 kilohertz today out of France. Now, see, what are you missing? You don't see the time at the minute marker. You're not hearing the time, and that's sometimes the way things are for these time stations. Okay, for example, you take a look here at RWM out of Moscow. Okay, 14996. Okay, up here you take a look at RWM as 49996. Let's take a look at a guy who actually picked up RMH, and you're going to find it similar a little bit to EBC out of Spain. It is a clock, but you don't necessarily see what minute it is. You don't hear it from the station. See, that's right there, RWM. That's it. And so when RMW, wow, I'm either brain dead or something's wrong here. Sorry about that. There's EBC. That's RWM. I knew it was right. What the heck? Yeah, RWM out of Moscow. So That's what they sound like. And they just literally have the time going, and you hear it's kind of a beacon or, something that's similar to that, but it is a clock, an atomic clock. We're going to take a look inside both WWV and WWVH, as well as take a look at CHU Canada today. And I hope you enjoy it. I did try and find some stuff on the other time stations, but I just could not find them. I want to welcome Robert Sabato here from Georgia. Sorry. Good afternoon, Georgia. Well, there you go. Larry's having a brilliant day today. Thanks for coming to my Mind Meltdown. Thanks for being here, everybody. It's a great day to see you. Thank you so much. Robert, welcome. From Northern New Jersey, Kilo 2, Whiskey Romeo Delta is here. Welcome. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Tom says, too bad the scouts will be working outside the ITU Region 1 limits on SSB. Yeah, that is too bad. I think sometimes that when they make these contests up, or these special events, they should look carefully at the ITU zones, because so many people would want to work them, but they can't because it's outside their band plane. That's a good point, Tom. It really is. Let's take a look first. We're going to look at ground, what this looks like on the ground. Here is the National Institute of Time, Station WWVH. Now, this is on the island of Kauai. It's near a town called Kakaha. All right. Take a look. The antenna field, you can see where all the antenna, where everything goes out to the antennas. And it's pointed on the southwest corner of the island of Maui. Okay. Here's WWV. Here's their transmission site. Okay. Notice the water nearby. Again, just like WWVH, it makes a big difference because right off the lower left corner is the ocean. So it's right by a big body of water. Same for WWV in Fort Collins, Colorado. WWVB is just a little bit away from the WWV transmitters. Take a look. See, there's where WWVB is. Okay. So this is the station, by the way, that keeps your clocks right. That's what WWVB does. It's a digital station that helps to keep atomic clocks like alarm clocks and house clocks on time. That's what they do, right? Let's take a look at WWVH from inside the building. Okay, we're going to do that in a minute, but I want you to see first the format clock, and I'm going to warn you, it's a terrible resolution. In your radio, you have a format clock. It will tell you when to play certain songs. It'll tell you when the commercial breaks are. It'll tell you when you're IDing, things like that. The WWV format clock is very different. It tells when IDs are given. It tells when special, announcements are given, because really all it is a clock. That's all it does. But it does have special information at certain times of the hour. This is that format clock. And again, I wish it was better condition in terms of its resolution. Let's go inside WWV. This is recent, just within the last year. WWV, Fort Collins, Colorado, a look inside the building as we wrap up our shows on time stations.
Into this is the one that's currently on the air. And what goes on in the other room here, there's another Faraday cage that we shouldn't go into. It's where the time scale is. The guy who runs that can see when you open the door, the change in temperature from the air and the bodies and everything, and so he can see a blip in his data when the door opens. So we just leave that shut. But a bunch of cesium clocks in there in the rack, and he's got a computer running it, and it compares all the outputs of all the cesiums and weights them to how healthy they are, adds them all together, averages them, and sends a nice pure 5 megahertz over here to this room. And then the 5 megahertz is fed into each time code generator, and so all the ticks and tones, everything you hear, the carrier frequencies are all derived from that 5 megahertz.
So here's where the audio is done, basically.
Pardon?
So here's where the audio is.
Right. Yeah. This is all. Yeah. The whole thing. The voice announcements on a chip. We used to have big magnetic drums, and the head would drop, at the right instant to do the voice announcement. And, put it together. Now it's all on a chip, and the computer takes care of feeding the pieces together as needed for each announcement. And I'll open up here. I'll open maybe easier to look inside of it.
Sit here.
Yeah, these are off-the-shelf timecode generators. These companies make timecode generators for NASA and big companies, the military, whoever needs timecode generators, timestamps, and so they just modified this one for us, and we didn't need nearly as much space. So we can also program through the front panel. We program in like leap years and leap seconds We get the notices from the observatory in Paris, is where everyone looks to for the announcement of leap seconds. And of course, leap years are well known. And also they tell us when there's a DUT1 correction, which is as the Earth slows down, every 1/10 of a second that it accumulates. That is different from where noon should be when the sun is up. That's accumulated and tracked, and then when we get the number, right now it's 2/10 of a second difference, and so when we get to about 5 or 6/10, we do a leap second, and that puts us ahead. We jump back ahead, and then slowly, as the Earth slows down, decays again, and we get another announcement for leap second. And then we also have the space weather announcement. We have the Mars announcements, other special announcements all come into this computer here, and then the computer figures out what minute it's supposed to insert that audio announcement that goes out into the timecode generator and then broadcasts. The female voice at 18 minutes past the hour is Kate. We just recently, it's been probably 5 or 6 years now, but it used to be people would call on the phone, these different agencies, and they would record a message, but they would hold the phone different distances, and people would speak loud, some would whisper, and the audio, trying to keep the audio level to everyone's happiness, it just didn't work. So we went with
All right, so there's a look inside WWVH in Fort Collins, Colorado. Let's go deeper. Let's take a look a little bit deeper at WWVH. These are the transmitters. He talks a little about it, as well as back in 1988, what it looked like. Compare that digital format to analog. Let's take a look. WWVH, a deeper dive from yesterday in Kakaha, Hawaii.
To broadcast up to 1971 was the same announcer. The male voice was identical.
Havoc medium, just like
there's 2 drums, and they split it up so that they could record the one that says the hour on this one drum, and then they recorded the minute recording on the other drum.
So it's like a record
So they
and
have
a needle.
24 recordings, spirally recorded recordings on this one, 24 tracks, for the 24 hours. And then the other drum has 60 tracks for the 60 minutes.
Okay.
So they simplify the number of recordings.
It's just nothing more than a hard disk drive.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Well, it is like, this is like everything comes up called drop in place. No, it's like any other tape machine. It's just on a drum,
Okay. And how old is this unit here?
Well, since 1971. But
71.
They've replaced a lot of the modules.
At the tone, 23 hours, 37 minutes, coordinated universal time.
Start again.
Okay, that's the 10 megahertz standby and transmitter.
Well, first let's start with this one right here.
This one here is we're modifying right now, and it'll be the standby for the 2.5 megahertz.
Okay.
Then the next one there on the right is the 10 megahertz transmitter as a standby transmitter for the 10 megahertz frequency. Then next to it is the 2.5 megahertz transmitter. That's on the air. It puts out 5,000 watts of power, and that's running right now.
Okay, so how much power? The 2.5 is only doing 5,000
Yeah,
watts?
right. Because it's more for the local area.
Okay.
That frequency.
And the 10 meg is putting out what, 50?
10,000 watts.
10,000?
Our maximum power we put out is 10,000 watts.
I thought it was 50 for some reason. Oh,
Just 10,000 watts, and also 10,000 watts. And then we have the standby transmitter for the 15 megahertz. And then the one way on the left there is the 5 megahertz. That's the standby transmitters for the 5 megahertz. Then on this far left is the 5 megahertz main transmitter, putting out 10,000 watts of power.
Okay, now the one in the center here, this is 2 of them side by side, right?
Yeah, and that one there, the 5 megahertz. Okay, those were installed in 1983 to conserve power. These old transmitters were linear amplifier.
Yeah.
And they consumed so much power because they were only about 25% efficient.
Okay, now these 2 in the center, which is which?
These 3 transmitters that you see,
The new ones?
the new ones, outcome power transmitters, they're Class C plate modulated transmitters, and they're about 52% efficient.
Okay.
So we reduce the power considerably. In
So
fact,
the one on the right here is broadcasting at what frequency?
10 megahertz,
And this one next to it?
50 megahertz.
Okay, and the one over there is 5?
5 megahertz.
And so
right.
all of these, except that one is on the air, right?
Yeah, right.
There they are. And that's it. That building right there is the building they were inside. And you can, of course, see how the feeders go out. The hard line goes out to each set of antennas. And then, that's how they transmit throughout the Pacific and even into Europe and Asia. They can be heard all the way in UK, believe it or not. WWVH. Unbelievable. CHU in Canada. Here's CHU, one of their 3 antennas. If you take a look at CHU and you listen,
CHU, Canada. Coordinated Universal Time. 16 hours, 54 minutes.
and again, sorry that the audio is so low. That's as loud as I could get it picked up out of Michigan today. So that's CHU, and that's one of their 3 antennas that they use at their location. Here's inside. Looks kind of similar to WWV, doesn't it? Very, very similar. Kind of a similar setup. They also have the cesium clocks inside a Faraday cage, and everything is, protected so that people don't go in. That's to the left here. If you take a look at all of the, processing gear, if you go to the left where that chair is, that's the Faraday cage that holds the cesium clocks. That's what CHU is from. So when you're listening to CHU, this is where it comes from, all the way in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. And to think, we grew up with so much of that stuff too, right? Pretty fun. Let's take a look at your comments real quick. Tom, in Bahrain, Alpha 92 Golf Whiskey, magnetic drums were how first digital computers worked in the 60s. Yeah. I used to work with one system many years ago. You know what? I bet they worked similar to that. Edison accidentally discovered the phonograph by working on the telegraph, by seeing that the needle he was using for the recorder, to pick up the, dits and the das, was actually engraving something into this little drum that he'd made. He realized that, hey, wait a minute, I can work on that, and perhaps the audio coming in will change the depth of the grooves. That's how records were born. So yeah, magnetic drums, different type of situation because it's reading magnets versus reading the depth of a groove, but there you go. All right, we're going to take a look real quick at the 7610, and I'm going to, there's my belly. Hi, everybody. Here's my tummy. Good to see you, and thank you for coming. We are on 15 meters, and tonight we're going to try and make calls with you on CQ Calling. It's been a long time since we've done this. I hope we have good propagation tonight. I think Alex also does a show tonight. Catch his show first, okay? He's going to be on right about 5 p.m. Eastern time. His call is Whiskey 7 Hotel Uniform. Typically starts on 15 meters. He'll go from 15 meters down to 17, from 17 to 20, and then to 40. Usually starts around 5 p.m. Eastern time, which is going to be at 21, I think, maybe 22 UTC. But please take a look at his YouTube channel because he'll be making calls to you all over the world. He's got his Urban Beam set up. We'll have ours set up soon. And right now we're just kind of waiting on that opportunity to do so. So that'll, but we're waiting on some good friends to help finish the build who have been so kind to me. And I learned long ago in life that when someone's helping you, there's no time clock. You're just grateful. So to Greg Robinson and Ray, thank you for what you've done for me. I mean that. All right, let's listen real quick on the 7610. We'll see if maybe someone's out there. We'll just see if we can make a call. Taylor 15. And we are not only off frequency here, but we are... Just hold on a second, folks. I was going to tell you, don't forget today, I have a really fun opportunity for you at the end of the show to listen to something really, really cool. I mean, it's kind of funny, actually. For you, the folks that watch the Super Bowl, if you had a chance to watch Super Bowl, and you've seen some of these ads before, I'm sure. You probably have. But these are fun. And this one is really cool. I'm not going to work with the radio today. I think, if I remember, I've got one jumper that I'm replacing outdoors. It hit me and I'm going, wait a minute, I can't do it. So my apologies. I want to get that done before the show tonight. So I hope to be on tonight about 8 p.m. Pacific. That's about the time 40 meters should work really well. So we'll try and come back then, okay? Wait for the end, though, of after the sign-off. If you want to see a funny commercial, it's hilarious. It was on the Super Bowl, I think, 2 years ago. Pretty good. Yeah, Casey wants to be a ham, and we're hopeful you make it, my friend. We really do. We'd love to have you on the bands and work with you. You can pass the test. You can pass the test, buddy. Find a great place like Ham Test Online. Great study course. You can do it in the comfort of your home or your phone, your laptop, your tablet, whatever. Easy to follow instructions, and they'll help you. They really will. Also, Mike says Sierra 9 Oscar Kilo Expedition is on 21.290. See if you can hear him. He's listening on 5 to 10 up, so he's working split. Good. There you go. For folks that are either in North America or maybe some folks that might be in Europe, 21.290 if it's not dead yet, if 15 meters isn't gone yet. There you go. But I have a jumper that needs to be replaced out in the front yard on the flagpole. I just want to make sure we work right for tonight, okay? The whole purpose of what we do here is on Fridays to give you all the information you need to be successful for the weekend. That includes your ham radio contest calendar, your expeditions, and your special event stations. Try and throw in a little segment today. I hope you enjoyed the last part about time stations throughout the world. Don't forget, they're all over the world, and really it just depends on what station you want to listen to. For example, at 2.5 megahertz, that's just WWV and WWVH, okay? If you go down, we're going to kill this audio. If you go down to 3330 kilohertz, CHU is there from Ottawa. They're only transmitting at 3 kilowatts. That's it. And it says their range about 1,830 miles. Of course, you can get them longer at night. Yeah. Also, HD2 I0A 1 kilowatt is out of the country of Ecuador at 3810. Maybe something to try and pick up as a DX call. Next one's RWM out of Moscow. They're at 4996, about 5,550 miles. But at night, you're going to hear it farther. You're literally right there on 60 meters. So, yeah. Also, 4998, so 2Ks up, EBC out of Spain is also there at 10 kilowatts. It's got a great signal. And you can hear them throughout Europe, also North Africa and the Middle East. Also, at 5 kilohertz, you've got WWV and WWVH, both at 10 kilowatts, okay? And those can be heard literally all over the world as well, even at 5 kilohertz. Just listen at night. Then you go on to the higher bands, meaning you're getting up in frequency. 14.670 kilohertz is CHU's other station, also at 3 kilowatts. And they can be heard all the way into Europe at night, all the way into Alaska and down to South America during the evening. So great stuff. You can hear CHU. Again, remember with CHU, they will, I believe it's the even minutes, they give you the time in English, and on the odd minutes, they give you the time in French. Okay? So that you just listen for the sound that you heard earlier in the show. You'll know we've got CHU. Then RWM, probably your best chance to hear them is honestly at 14,996. Okay? Because they've got a great signal, and you can hear them into Europe as well as the Middle East and down, I believe, in North Africa. There's that. They have 15 kilohertz, the killer signal from WWV and WWVH. This is why you got to be a really good selective radio to pick up RWM, because this is a screaming signal from WWV and WWVH. Okay, it's 10 kilowatts, and it comes from both the island of the island of Kauai and Fort Collins. Okay, and you can hear these things for thousands. Don't just ignore the day and night there, because you can hear them for thousands and thousands of miles. The 15 kilohertz signal you can hear, sometimes halfway around the world. Okay, also, and this is again EBC Spain. That's what it sounds like. They're at 15,006, okay? And they time on the hours and on the half hour, okay? And at the 15s. They're going to be in Spain. They're at 10 kilowatts, and you can hear them throughout Europe, North Africa, probably the mid part of Africa as well, probably the east coast of the United States as well. You should be able to hear them pretty well at 15,006 at 10 kilowatts. Hard to hear them in the U.S. because of WWV So strong, and it's so close. Also at 20 kilohertz, WWV is there. They're at 2.5 kilowatts at that frequency. And that's probably of all the WWV frequencies, both 20 kilohertz and 2.5 kilohertz are the hardest signals to hear. And the reason why, they're only broadcasting at 2.5 kW. See, here's the 2500 kilohertz for WWV. It's at 2.5 kW, but WWVH is at 5 kW. So more of the Pacific can hear them. So there's your time stations around the world, not just WWV and WWVH. Hope you enjoyed that. Whole purpose of why we're here is to help you get into ham radio, and we're honored that you came. It's great, seriously, for me to spend this time with you, and I appreciate you being here. Contact a radio club like the Japan Amateur Radio League. Just hit the Contact Us bar. They'll do the rest. They'll find a radio club near you. Just tell them where you are. They'll connect you with a great ham radio club and help you get on the air. Okay? We're going to do a great sign-off or close down from Madagascar. We've never done this before. This is going to be kind of fun. Hope you enjoy it. It's basically just their anthem, but it would be like if they signed off television. So, my name's Larry. My call sign is Kilo 7 Hotel November. It's been an honor to spend this time with you. Thanks for the visit. Until next time, tomorrow, 20 UTC for Eric Hoffer from Ham Radio Concepts. Oh man, don't miss that show. 20 UTC. That's noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern United States, 20 UTC or 8 p.m. in London. Join us and ask your questions of Eric from Ham Radio Concepts. It's going to be a great show, just a great show. We'll try and do CQ calling tonight, 8 p.m. Pacific time. Until next time, wherever you may be, my name's Larry. God bless you, and thank you for watching Ham Radio Live. Goodbye, everybody. You don't leave when a mate from the RSGB comes to say hello. This is my mate Steve, Mike 1, Alpha Charlie Bravo. He actually is part of the RSGB, works for them. Look at this. Hi, Larry. Steve from the RSGB. Just checking in to say hello, and thanks for your kind comments about the RSGB convention last weekend. Folks, I'll put down in the description section a link to both of the YouTube feeds, over 16 hours of content that will help you from beginner in ham radio to expert at ham radio to be better at ham and shortwave radio. It's something you don't want to miss. Steve, it's an honor, and I thank you for honoring me by coming today. Thank you. Truly. Wow. When somebody comes from the RSGB and they're like one of the big people, you stop the show and you say hello. Also, goodbye to all of you folks around the world, from Ron in Canada to my mate there in South Australia, to Nikolai in Romania, my friend Kjell in Norway, James Stanley made it, Mike 7 Bravo X-Ray Tango, plus his pup Monty, Mike 7 Bravo X-Ray Tango /K9, Mike Galloway from Massachusetts, Kilo Delta 1 Hotel Foxtrot. Thank you so much. You can't pause the show just because I said hello. No, you're right, I can't. We'll just continue. I just did, Steve, just for you, because it's an honor for me. Enjoy the commercial. I think you'll laugh your head off. Until hopefully at 8 p.m. tonight. God bless you. See you soon on Ham Radio Live. Goodbye, everybody.
And there's your beautiful baby.
Any day now.
Really? You're eating Doritos? He's eating Doritos on my ultrasound. Do you see what I have to do?
I know.
Give me that.